today I will be showing you with an example how you can make or turn words into attention and then money the right way. Ads, organic content, every form of trying to get in attention fails because of a couple of things. And one of the most important aspects is ignoring awareness levels. If you are not thinking in awareness levels when you're right, you're not doing anything correctly. And then we're going to talk about how to write a good copy. So, your words do not have to be an elite, magical, witchcraftery type of shit. But I'm going to give you an example here with a product about memory techniques, a product that I have used in the past, and obviously is my professor too. His product is simply help you memorize everything word by word, even if you don't understand it. I've used it multiple times to rank in the top 0.01% in the national exam tests and join medical school. And now I'm going to show you what the improvements we can do in a copywriting thought process. So, let me just give you a background about the guy, about my professor, and then we'll dig deep. He's a PhD holder in humanities. He have been featured in a lot of magazines. I think he knows Mandarin, he knows German, English, and French, of course. Delivered a lot of TED Talks, talked to a lot of memory champions before, and I don't think that he has practiced. But either way, he's a great guy, smart guy, and he has a lot of knowledge too in his YouTube channel. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is market research. You can't, you can't, you can't do anything without market research because you need to know who you are targeting. You need to know who's the audience that you need to address in order for you to achieve something. So, I was thinking that going broad is not always the best option that you can do, even though it can work, but you need a little bit of specificity. And he addresses everyone who tries to have a better memory, young, old, whatever, want to remember better, want to triple your memory, and so on. That's the thing that he preaches. But I thought, who are the people who can use that system? Who are the people who want and need that system? The people who are crushed by the lack of systems that help them get the job done. So I was thinking about law school students, bar exam candidates, lawyers preparing for any advanced legal certificates, professionals in all of segments of life, people who are trying to get to the PhD. Basically, if you want to just group them, we can just say people in higher education or people in advanced academics. That's a start. Still, we can go a little bit deeper. You can also be just specialized with people who are doing a PhD and so on, in some kinds of offers, but let's settle on that for now. So I created a little bit, so I've done some research. I used my past experience. I have been introspective a little bit, and I have found some goals, some values, some problems, what keeps them at night, their thoughts and beliefs and objectives. You know, the main important part here about the whole market research stuff is to find the problems, find the desires that they want to achieve, and then present it to them. Show them that the world or the thought process about the world is wrong and educate them about it. After doing some market research, just jump to the offer because now we know the problem, we know the needs, and we know the wants. And if you can just think of yourself wearing the same shoes of the target audience, you technically can be the target audience, even though in this situation I was the target audience. The main problems that I have figured would suit the situation well was burning out, long hours of studying, and the cycle of forgetting, revising, forgetting, and this cycle of death, this cycle that makes you want to stop. So the offer, instead of it being it's time to triple your memory, I thought about absorb years of advanced of your advanced curriculum in half the time. Think that's specific enough. Think that's descriptive enough of the end result, because technically half of the time is literally 6 months, less than that. And then we add the parts that they won't appreciate about the offer, mainly the fact that they need to put in effort without long hours of study, endless active recall, and burning out. I've added active recall because everyone relies on it when they try to study. That's the importance of market research. And they all talk about, use the words of burning out, long hours of studies. So then I kept in mind some objections that I will be using later in the sales page that we will be writing, if we are writing one. So now all this information here about the market research and the offer will help anyone really be capable of presenting the offer in a sales page, create YouTube videos and emails, and so on. So now, with the sales page, this is just a simple outline of how a sales page will look like. A headline, a VSL, and so on. But the most important parts about it are the headlines. We've talked about it. It's just simply the offer stated here. The VSL. I have another video that talks about the VSL. You can check it out in my channel. It's just simply you trying to find the objections, the questions that your target audience will have when they are aware about your problem, about the problem and the solution and the product. This is specific. You need that to actually occur first before you present the VSL. Because the VSL is a pre-sales call tool or a pre-buy tool. Answer every single question that they have to make them know that what they buy or what will they buy is the right thing for them. The lead story is simply the most important part of me, or the most fun part for me, if that makes sense, because it's simply you writing a thesis, an argument about why your product works, but with a twist in a copywriting term. You're using 4 different ingredients here, encouraging the dreams, justifying the failures, confirming the suspicious fears, and then throwing rocks at the enemy. It doesn't matter how you mix them, you just have to put them. You just have to use your ability to be creative in order to mix that. So, the one that I have created here is started like this. Simply, my thought process was that I needed to talk about the idea that they are smart, because obviously they are smart and they know that they are smart. They don't need someone here to tell them that they are not. And then we needed to mention their problems and tell them that them having their problems does not justify or does not lead to us thinking that they are not smart enough or that they have imposter syndrome. Because everyone at some point in his higher education will just think that they don't belong to that place and they are a fraud, even though they are not. The solution is simple, just the lack of techniques. The content kept on upgrading in difficulty, but the techniques stayed the same. And I use an example here. Obviously, I can just link it down below so that you can read it later. The example that I used was that if the content was less dense, they would simply raw dog it and be capable of understanding every single layer of it. But because of the fact that it is so demanding and challenging, you have to juggle with a ton of information, memorize a lot of facts, and then try to connect them with each other's. The problem is it's tedious, but that's what systems do. Help you make tedious parts easy. In our cases, I wrote it out, used that I know what you are going through. I've been there, I've studied, I've done it all, and I succeeded it. Oh, by the way, the doctor has some mental issues too, related to depression and so on. And he used the techniques to succeed in all cases, so that can be used as a lead story to whatever. So now, one last thing before we talk about or we finish talking about the sales page is that we can get a little bit deeper, obviously, but one thing that can help us get a little bit deeper is when we are using content or we are using ads, the system that we are trying to push or the target audience that we're trying to target here can be one of the degrees that we have talked about earlier, law, med, and so on. We can address them, help them join the email list, and then segment the email list to certain criteria in order for us to create subgroups. Because the whole process revolves around creating content, getting emails, and then sending emails, getting them to join the sales call, the sales page, and then buy. So, if we can know if that guy is having a PhD or is just in college, law school, whatever, with the segmentation part, with the targeted ad and the targeted content, we can then create specific sales pages, specific emails that have a better targeting and better messaging for them. You speaking their words, speaking their language. That's one thing that can be done in such situations, or you can just use the approach that we've talked about earlier, looking at them in the realm of all of them being people who are trying to pursue higher academics. Whatever. Let's talk now about the welcome sequence, because when someone sees your content, sees your ad, gives you the email or whatever, they will receive a couple of emails, or they should receive a couple of emails that make them understand that you are the guy. And obviously, 30 to 40% of the people should buy just because of the welcome sequence. I've laid down everything here, and I have another video that talks about the whole process there. You can just check it out. So, I hope you just got one or two things. I hope that it got a little bit simpler for you, knowing that market research is the base, and then the offer is another base. And after that, you can just do whatever with the sales page. Like, you can really write whatever. Hope you enjoy this one, and see you in another video.